Borderlands, he would talk like that. Would you please come to the counter?
Sound like a white Obama.
A white Obama.
I had to say it again after I turned the mics on. Okay, are we in there like swimwear, or are we out of here like the stratosphere?
Hopefully the stratosphere.
No, we want to be in there like swimwear, dude.
Oh.
Everyone knows that.
Except for me, apparently.
Welcome to the show, everybody.
Welcome in.
It's Pod Heaven with Austin and Devin.
We're your hosts, Austin and Devin.
We did it.
Finally did it. Cheers.
Cheers. You gotta gesture that one.
Yes.
But a lot of people don't know what the gesture is because they're not watching on YouTube.
They don't.
They're listening on Spotify, thinking that this podcast is just like a Spotify iTunes thing. But we have a YouTube channel.
Pod Heaven, Austin and Devin. Go find us on YouTube.
Dude, check us out. Physically.
Basically.
Check us out. Dude, lots of sound effects. Chill out on sound effects. Chill out on sound effects, dude. Stop. Stop, bro.
I didn't say that.
Stop.
Don't stop.
Joe Budden was doing his podcast, and he got carried away with the air horn a couple episodes. That's where I got the idea to use the air horn, was from him, and the gunshot, too. I don't even have my iPad.
Oh.
Where is it?
I'll get it.
Oh, I guess I'll just entertain the people for a little bit here. What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 9. We should have had wine for 9.
What are we doing?
Thanks, Devin.
You need to be on YouTube to know what I just did.
You got to. But if you're not,
that's okay.
then you don't. Because if you are, then you would be.
Well, we all just need to learn from our mistakes and go watch it on YouTube.
Yeah, man. We have grace with the people who don't support us on every platform that we post our podcast on.
You got to go listen to it at least 4 times to hear it on all the platforms.
If you really want to be one of the Heavenites.
The Heavenites. Nice.
You know, Cody Bird is a Heavenite, dude.
Cody Bird.
That dude's a dedicated fan.
Nice.
And I don't mean the guy who, like, asks you about your career and says, "I'm your biggest fan, bro. Don't forget about me." He's like the guy who has, like, heard my newest song and has given me feedback on it, and, like, just reaches out to me to show me he supports me every week.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
That's great.
Yeah, he's dedicated.
Good for him, man.
So, but last week we had some chicken.
Oh.
We had some KFC.
We had some KFC, yes.
I brought that over. Today was Jimmy John's.
This is a health podcast. We don't have KFC on the health podcast.
Yeah, don't tell him. Shh. Don't tell anybody.
Anyways, continue.
It was healthy Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Yes.
It's healthy fried chicken.
It was sprinkled with essential oils, so. What?
And I don't know what happened, but there was this little piece of a bone.
Oh, yeah.
That I
remember
swallowed. Did I tell you when it happened?
Yeah.
You were like, it got stuck in my throat.
Yeah.
And it still hurts. And it's been since last Saturday that I feel like something was stuck in there. But I don't think it would be stuck in there that long, right?
No, it probably just went down sideways and scraped all the way down.
Scrape. Oh. Or a bruise. That's what Ashley kept telling me was what probably happened.
I don't know. I'm not a chicken bone expert, but I feel like that could happen.
Yeah. So I don't know. But it made it hard to sing, and it made it hard to breathe a couple times.
Yeah.
And then a couple times when I was smoking weed during the week, I took a really hot dab, and it just like burned in my throat and like brought back that sharp pain, which is why I thought something was stuck in there. But I think it's getting better.
Yeah, it's probably just damaged somehow. Probably from that chicken bone.
I'm like, dude, what if it worked its way into my lung? I hope I don't have a chicken bone in my lung, dude.
No. Well, no.
Kind of freaking out.
It definitely didn't go in your lung.
You don't think so?
No, dude.
Don't give me false hope, Devin.
Sorry. No.
I need surgery.
You need
if
surgery.
I'm getting stabbed by a chicken.
We need to do that.
Bone?
You get stabbed by a chicken. It's a real thing, guys. You get stabbed by a chicken.
Dude. Watch out for this.
A deceased chicken is stabbing you. How's that make you feel?
I don't know, dude. I just overthink stuff. Like when I first noticed that happening, I was just like, dang, I really hope I'm not.
You just been smoking too much weed. You're getting paranoid.
That's probably what's happening, dude. You know, because it flares up when I smoke.
Yeah.
And so when you get high, and then that's the first thing you think of, you know?
Right. That makes sense.
You start just fixating on that.
Yeah.
But
It reminds me of those the Family Guy episodes where Peter gets in a fight with the chicken.
yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
It
Just never ends.
Just never ends. Yeah, it's half the episode is just this epic battle between Peter and a chicken.
I know, it's like Dragon Ball Z style.
It is.
Almost.
It's so great. I love it.
And then he comes back, doesn't he?
Yeah, like
In a later episode.
building collapses and then Peter comes busting out of the rubble, but the chicken doesn't. And he kind of just goes, he walks off screen, but is still looking at the rubble. All of a sudden,
Yeah,
hand
chicken
comes
hand pops
busting out.
God, that's funny.
Now that I think about it, though, like it pops up, but it's like claws, right?
Yeah.
If I remember right. But
Red
chickens have wings,
Yeah.
so that would be his foot sticking out.
Yeah. Maybe.
Anyways, that's crazy though.
Yeah, chicken bone, dude. It made it hard to sing, made it kind of hard to breathe yesterday. But it's not a chicken bone.
No, it's weird. Like when this whole, anyways, the past happened with the whole coronavirus thing. Oop, I said it. I had some like there it is. I had like I felt like I was sick for like 2 months, but then it turned out to be acid reflux.
Acid reflux.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, but it was like messing with my throat, and it made me feel sick. You know, because plus then I'm like, it's been here for like 2 months, and I'm starting to go in through my head and get all like I'm blowing it way out of proportion.
Yeah.
And like there's something wrong with me, you know, and turns out that it's just acid reflux, and you just need to take some Tums. And
Yeah.
you're all good. But
Well, does that cause sore throat as well?
yeah, it does. It really does.
And is it like a normal type of cold, sick sore throat, or is it like?
That's the weird thing is it feels like, I don't know, you know, whenever if you've thrown up and then you have that burning in your esophagus, that's what it feels like just constantly,
Yeah.
you know? And I was like, I know I felt this before. I just don't know. I can't put my finger on what it is.
Yeah.
So when the doctor was like, yeah, it's probably acid reflux, I was like, that's exactly what it is, you know?
Well, what is that exactly? Because I every morning, I think just from smoking and vaping, I just cough up like crazy amounts of loogies. Like I'll do my meditation and my breathing. And after I do that breathing exercise, I'm like ready to freaking, it's gross, but like hock a loogie. Like,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
you know, as big as a freaking golf ball.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's
So
thanks for the image, but no, it's basically it's magical. What it is just the acid in your stomach. I think there's too much of it, or it's too acidic, or something. I'm not 100% sure, but for whatever reason, there's like a little valve between your stomach and the esophagus, and then it starts, and that valve blocks the acid from getting back up. I think, not 100% sure on that. I didn't do any sort of research on this beforehand, which this is completely just.
Yeah.
But I think this is the way that it works, and that then now there's too much acidity in your stomach or whatever, and it starts to get past that valve.
Yeah.
And it starts to work its way back up. So that's why in the morning you're laying down all night, and now gravity is assisting it back through there, and that's why it's worse in the morning. And then if you have like super fatty foods, it depends. You know, for me, like there was the fatty foods aspect of it, because I was eating a lot of like steak and chicken thighs, you know, and then and then that starts to get up into your esophagus, and that's where the burning comes from.
That's probably not what's going on with me, right?
With your like phlegm?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I'm like, what does that stuff burn your throat?
The acid?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that's why you feel the irritation.
I'm like that might have been what happens. I got some acid reflux up there.
Yeah, that could be it. And then I know your allergies are always really bad. Mm-hmm. So for whatever reason, there's some sort of, you know, overproduction of phlegm.
Yeah. It's gross.
Yeah, good.
Gross, man.
That's my opinion from Dr. Devin. So
just don't eat chicken.
No, eat chicken.
Eat tons of chicken.
Eat more
don't
chicken.
Eat the bones.
Yeah, don't eat the bones.
And don't eat it too fast. Don't freaking inhale it.
Yeah.
Before your podcast.
And then try to sing.
That's what I do, man. When I get eaten, I'm not eating. I'm eating for one purpose. It's just to move on with my day.
You're eating it, and then the only thing that you can think about is like, I want to taste this again.
Yeah.
So you just eat some more. Just keep tasting this.
Yeah, and when it's funny, I stress eat.
Yeah.
And when people piss me off while I'm eating, I'll just start eating just ridiculously fast.
So you can't say anything?
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know. I just like I remember one time I was having this conversation with my buddy at Mod Pizza, and dude, I smashed that pizza in like 2.5 minutes because he was giving me constructive feedback on my music, but it's like completely uneducated, ignorant feedback.
Okay. Dang.
So I'm sitting there getting upset, and then next thing I know, my pizza's gone. I'm like, Jesus, I just ate that.
Yeah, totally. That's crazy.
And it's really funny to watch somebody notice that that's what's happening when I'm eating with them. And they're kind of like, they look down at my food like, are you okay? Like, what are you doing?
I do that with my roommate all the time. We'll like sit down to eat, and then I'll be, you know, oh, this is good food, and we're eating and stuff. I'll look up and he's almost done. I'm like, so I've been like paying attention and just watching him because he always eats so fast.
Yeah.
And just like,
why?
Whoa, dude.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he? I remember watching him eat pizza.
Yeah.
Like, he's like drinking the pizza, basically.
Yeah, he is. I don't know. Yeah, and he's always been that way.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's funny. It's really funny.
Dude, but I eat like a freaking animal, dude. Like, me and Ryan go to Buffalo. We're not supposed to say names. We keep saying the names, but me and Ryan go to Buffalo Wild Wings, and we just pig out, man. I could eat 20 wings in one sitting. I remember when I was lifting heavy and I was trying to get to 200 pounds. I remember this one day at Red Robin when it was just like I had a burger and fries and I think like tacos, like an appetizer, and then a giant piece of cake. And that's like what I would do after every workout. Because I just did not want to be skinny anymore. I'd just go out after my workout and just eat like freaking 3,000 calories in one meal.
That's
obviously not that many, but
yeah.
I try to hit 5,000 a day.
That's a lot.
Is what I did, yeah. And I was also partying really hard during those times.
Wow.
When I was working out, lifting, and I started smoking cigarettes somewhere along the line. And I remember I'd freaking go work out and then hit the sauna and then go to McDonald's.
Yep.
After my protein shake, I'd drink my protein shake in the sauna, and then I'd go to McDonald's, eat like crazy, and then smoke a cigarette, and then go home. and
Wow.
trying to chew some gum on the way home so mom and dad wouldn't notice. But yeah, when I worked at McDonald's, that was when I started smoking cigarettes. I think it was just because everybody else around
Everybody
me
else did, yeah.
And I'd also been to some crazy parties by that time.
Yeah.
And, you know, done some experimenting with different
Some
things.
of those
beer.
substances.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about chicken wings, but for some reason I can just crush those. Like I love making chicken wings here at home. You know, I'll get some chicken wings and then we've got like this. We just bake them. We don't fry them, but I found a way, or my dad found a way to make it so that you can bake them, but they still taste like they're fried.
Yeah. Crispy and stuff.
Crispy on the outside, yeah, and it's just like, so you get some really good chicken wings from like a butcher or whatever, and then you come back and you make them that way.
Yeah.
And then I get there's a place here in Portland, Oregon that's called Fire on the Mountain, and I grab their sauce, and it is just the best sauce I've ever had for chicken wings. And I'll just make these chicken wings, and I'll get like one of those big, huge Costco bags or one of those big, huge bags from Winco, and I'll make them, and it's just me and my roommate, and we'll seriously just eat, I don't know, probably 15 to 20 wings between so there's 40 wings, and we eat them all.
Damn, yeah. Wings, dude.
Yeah, I can just crush those.
I like the traditional ones.
The traditional ones?
Traditional rather than boneless.
Oh, yeah, 100% the bone-in ones are the...
You do this action?
Yeah, the flats.
Yeah, dude, and you pull that one bone out, and you just got like this morsel.
Yeah, so good. Chicken
wings.
wings.
Started watering.
I know, right? Chicken wings are my weakness, bro. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, I can eat so many of those. But yeah, I've been lifting heavy. You know,
You got to burn them off.
Yeah. But I've also been eating a lot because I've been lifting heavy.
Oh, yeah.
Know?
That always happens.
Yeah. The other night I had my buddy over. He was from California, and he was just staying with us for the week.
Yep.
And I mentioned that last time. And we just had a huge meal. Just an absolutely huge meal. We had chili. We had pulled pork sandwiches. We had pasta salad. Yeah. And it was good.
It's like
it's
a
good
little
stuff.
summer Thanksgiving.
It was. It was great. I loved it. So
A little Friendsgiving action.
Friendsgiving. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, dude. And you know, when I was working out like that, it was either Red Robin or it was McDonald's or it was Taco Bell or just whatever I could hit on the way home.
Dirty bulk.
Yeah, dude, dirty bulk. And I did it, man. I got to 200 pounds. And then that was when I kind of made the decision that, you know, I didn't really care about fitness as much as I cared about music. And I wanted to get into that world more. And, you know, just lost about 15 pounds, 25, because I'm 175 now.
Yeah.
So I think I went down to like 165 actually.
Okay, yeah.
Because that was at a bad time in my life, and I was losing weight from depression, and yeah, glad I made it through that.
Yeah, seriously. That's crazy.
But I'm back at 175, you know, and I work out probably 3 to 4, maybe 5 times a week sometimes.
Right.
And I work out for, dude, sometimes it's 10 minutes. I do 3 sets of 2 different ab exercises. And then I do 3 sets of 1 or 2 different exercises for the muscle group that I'm doing that day. If it's legs, I usually do kettlebell swings, and then I do squats with the kettlebell as well.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I'm always a huge advocate of just like, you know, don't just not go to the gym because you don't have time.
yeah,
You know, say you only have 25 minutes. You know, that's not an excuse to not go to the gym. You know,
No.
just go to the gym for 25 minutes. You
Yeah.
know, anything's better than nothing at all. You
Right.
know, so okay, I've got my time. And if it's super important to you, like it is for me, to make sure that I get in the gym and to make sure that I spend a good quality hour in there, that's when you gotta just like, schedule it into your
Yeah.
appointment, into your day. But if you're just trying to stay healthy, try to do even just like 25 minutes, 15 minutes every single day.
Yeah.
And
You're going to see some results.
yeah, you'll see some results, or you won't see any weight gain either.
Yeah.
If you might, it'll just help you stay neutral, right? Because that's the biggest thing is when people stop going to the gym and they stop, just doing any sort of workout because I quote unquote have no time to go to the gym, then you're just you're selling yourself short there.
Yeah.
So just whatever you got to do, just get in 15, 20 minutes every single day.
Yeah.
And you're going to be in a lot better shape than doing nothing at all.
Got to be tortoise, man.
Be the tortoise.
That's what we should call our fans, actually.
The tortoise?
Or the tortoises. I don't know. Heavenites is pretty cool, too.
I like Heavenites.
This song's called No More Mr. Nice Guy.
Oh, this one.
Yeah. You don't get the vocals yet. It's a demo. This is just a demo. But I figured it felt kind of podcasty.
Yeah.
And I do want to start getting people excited about my album. I'm going to be dropping pretty soon.
Nice. You doing a full album, huh?
Yeah, dude. Or
Nice.
an EP probably.
Okay.
But
Still, that's great.
yeah, I've got like 6 songs right now that
Cool.
that are getting closer to done. Once I have the idea in my head, the execution process is pretty simple.
Yeah.
Like once because if I'm in the studio with another artist, then I have to do what they're doing. So the process might not break down the same way. I might have to change a few things along the way to cater to that artist. But if it's just me, if it's my music, then I know what the process is going to be.
Right.
And so I can prepare. I can, take as much time as I need in the pre-production side of things. And then when it's time to go, boom, I record it and it's done. So, a lot of them I have demos for, but a lot of them I don't even have, sketched out at all. I just have them in my head, but they're close to done.
That's cool.
In my mind. Yeah.
That's really cool. Nice, dude. I'm excited about that. I know some of the things that you've shown me. I've been like, wait, you did that? Oh, dude.
That's the kind of reaction that, is exciting to get after a while of doing music production where somebody, you want it to almost sound so good that you can't hear it. That's what Dave always says. It's
So
like,
good you can't hear it.
it should sound so good you can't even hear it. It should blend so perfectly
Oh, right.
that
Yes.
nothing is sticking out. Nothing is, it's all just one,
Okay.
like that. Your mix sounds like it's all moving
Yeah.
together.
That's awesome.
But anyways,
Yeah, that sounds great.
I can't wait to start getting into some more of this rock and roll shit because I grew up listening to Avenged Sevenfold and stuff.
Yeah.
Did you know that Johnny Christ has his own podcast?
Really?
The bassist for Avenged Sevenfold.
What's it called?
Drinks with Johnny.
Tricks with Johnny.
Yeah, dude. And he just makes drinks. And he had the guys from Asking Alexandria on there.
Ooh, so it's like a metal podcast.
Dude, it's the real deal. It's so cool because it's like, back in the day, you had some radio stations that maybe had some shows that were kind of like, the podcasts that we have on YouTube and stuff today. But, in 1980, you're sitting there listening to Motley Crue on the radio.
Right.
In 2020, you're watching their documentary on Netflix and then listening to an interview with Nikki Sixx on Joe Rogan. I don't know if Nikki Sixx ever been on Joe Rogan, but
That would be awesome.
I'm sure he will be, and that would be awesome. But yeah, Asking Alexandria just dropped their album Like a House on Fire is what it's called.
I gotta listen to that.
And the way Johnny Christ described it was he called it a barn burner.
A barn burner?
He goes, dude, it's a real barn burner right out of the gate.
That's awesome.
And I was like, that just sounds so funny to me because I looked it up and it does have, it's like a kind of like a slang term, barn burner is.
Oh.
But I thought he was just using it as like a
Yeah.
metaphor.
Yeah.
About how quick the album starts and just how it like rolls into.
Oh,
I don't know.
what's the album called again?
Like a house on fire.
Yeah, so Barn Burner.
Yeah, so That's funny, dude.
That's great.
But yeah, Asking Alexandria is one of those metalcore bands. He had some guys from really old band on there that I wouldn't expect to see, you know. But like now, now Motley Crue's got a documentary on Netflix.
Yep.
And it's like, I don't know, dude. I always tell artists to push their content on social media. And somebody asked me this week after I said that, like, okay, but how do you monetize on social media? I'm like, well, there's tons of platforms that will pay you directly. YouTube, Anchor. You know, that's not necessarily social media, but like Facebook. Well, I don't know if Facebook pays you directly, but Instagram does. And all these platforms can be used to drive more attention to the platforms that do pay you, like Spotify. If you're a musician, you know, you use social media to direct people to there. And then you get a brand deal that you do on your podcast, you know, and then there's a couple other things you can do to start monetizing from that stuff. And we talked a little bit about that on the podcast, but it just blew my mind that somebody would have that reaction when I brought up social media to say, like, what do you mean? Like,
What do they mean monetize?
make money.
Oh. Yeah. Okay.
They're kind of old school, I think,
Okay.
you know? But that's the way shit moves today is it's just on social media. And, you know, it doesn't even really matter how good your song is. It doesn't even really matter how good your song is.
Yeah.
Like, it matters how you market it.
Right.
And so, I don't know, that was interesting to me. But we've got a project that we just announced last week.
Yeah.
Tainted Souls that we're going to be dropping pretty soon here.
Yeah.
And I pulled up those screams.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it turns out they were all clipping.
Yeah. When I sent them to you and as a recording, I'm listening back. I was hoping that wasn't going to matter. Mm-hmm. I don't know why. It kind of reminded me of what was the first All That Remains album that came out?
The Fall of Ideals.
Yeah, Fall of Ideals. That's the way that Phil sounds.
Was that their first one?
Oh, it might have not been their first one, but it was like the blue cover with the dude crawling. Yeah.
I'm doing a 10 albums that changed your musical taste.
Oh.
It's like a 10-day
nice.
challenge on Facebook, and that was my first one, I think.
Yeah.
It was the Fall of Ideals, and then it was
Nice.
Waking the Fallen. By Avenged Sevenfold. But yeah, dude, I was really impressed with those vocals. It sounds good.
Thanks.
You know, obviously the stems were off, but you know, that's just software. And 90% of music production is just poking around in the software and trying to figure out, you know, why this isn't working.
They were off like just clipping?
Yeah, so and you had some problems like exporting them and stuff, but that
Right.
What I'm saying is that's out of your wheelhouse.
Right.
And you know, you're gonna learn how to do some of that stuff as we move forward with Tainted Souls. But the screams, the performance was incredible.
Cool. Thanks, dude.
And that's, you know, something we can really work with. The one thing that I wanted to say, can I give you some feedback?
Yeah, go for it.
Podcast?
Yeah.
There's something about vocals that's percussive, right? Mm-hmm. And when you play the drums, you're thinking of 3 tracks at once in your head. You're thinking of the hi-hat going...
Yeah.
And then you're thinking of the snare going...
Yeah.
Right? Then you're thinking of the kick going...
Yeah. That makes sense.
Right? And that's how it goes in your head. But what the people hear is...
Yeah.
And it's all one thing. Right? And so when I say there's something percussive about vocals, especially with hip hop, You know, it's all you can line up your vocal in eighth notes and 16th notes, and you can write it that way. But I think and I thought maybe that would be you'd come into vocals having an advantage, as a drummer already.
Right.
But it felt like you see the grid a little bit differently than I do.
Yeah. Okay.
And when you sing, when you're singing to a beat, it is percussive, but it's not in the way that a drummer would interpret the word percussive.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe it's not even constructive feedback. Maybe it's just something crazy that I noticed.
Yeah, I think I kind of understand what you're saying. One thing that I didn't do was I didn't do it to a metronome.
Oh.
So I didn't have a metronome.
Well, you don't need that backing track, that demo's all recorded to a metronome.
Right, exactly. So I'm thinking that maybe some of the deliveries of like the downbeats and the actual like attack in certain parts where you want to like make sure that this word lines up with the song. Like I was kind of like speeding up and then slowing down and then speeding up and then slowing down, trying to.
Gotcha.
Because, that's actually the first time that I've ever gone onto a track and actually just did it without the vocals playing in the background and actually already written for me.
Oh yeah, that's a whole different
so
story.
That kind of threw me for a loop. Yeah. Luckily, I knew the song pretty well in my head, But yeah, so I didn't do it to a metronome. So I feel like I think I know what you're talking about. Like a couple of times, it's like, oh, that should have been said a little bit sooner. But now I got to speed up a little bit, and then I came in a little too soon, So it was a little bit less, I guess you could say, percussive.
Yeah, sure. I bet the metronome could help you a little bit.
Yeah, because at one point I was doing the metronome on my leg.
Yeah,
and I feel like that was the best time that I got. The best take, one of the best takes that I got. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm weird. Like I like having the metronome if I'm laying down a demo. Obviously when you have no instruments in your project file, the first one you lay down has to be played to a metronome.
Right.
But after that, I turn the metronome off after a while.
Oh yeah.
And I just sing to the track, or do whatever I'm doing to the track. But a lot of the musicians that I have in, like we just hired Dwayne. There goes another name. We just hired this piano player, and he wanted to click on the whole time.
Yeah.
The whole time, even though the song was playing. And, I made him do it once without the click. And then I noticed that he would probably be better off with it. And so I asked him if he wanted it, and he said, yes, please, always.
Okay.
And I'm like, what the hell, man? Like, I don't need a click after I get the guitar down.
Yeah.
I'm like, cool, I can sing it now. But
yeah,
maybe it would come out better if I used a click. Maybe I got to stick up my ass.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's my favorite one this time.
Yeah.
But dude, I mean, you've been drumming for years and years and years. You've been screaming for half as long. You've never sang in a studio without the vocal in your ear, like a song you wrote.
Yeah.
And I think you deserve a round of applause.
Oh, thanks, man.
And we're gonna go in that studio, and I think we're ready to just crush it, man.
Nice. I'm excited. I'm really excited.
But we might end up with an ugly baby.
We might end up with an ugly baby, huh?
Have you ever heard of the ugly baby syndrome?
Oof, I feel like I just did hear about this. I can't remember if it was from you.
Dude, I heard about it on the Johnny Christ podcast. I think I have heard of it before, but It's like when someone has a baby, and if it's ugly, you never tell the mom that the baby is ugly.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Oh, it's beautiful. She's so cute. She's so cute.
Yeah.
That's what I always say, and I just don't say anything else. That's what Dad taught me to say. He said, just say she's so cute, or he's so cute, or it's so cute even. But
now is not the time for honesty.
Yeah. And
unless it really is cute.
Moms freak out if someone says their baby's ugly. You told her mom that her baby was ugly. But the reality is, a lot of babies are ugly. A lot of fucking babies are ugly, dude. You know? That's not a mean thing to say.
No, it's true. It's like you always see those pictures of like, oh, look, here's Channing Tatum. But look what he looked like in high school.
Who cares?
You know?
Yeah, dude.
He's like ugly, but now they look great is what we're trying to get at.
But if you're a mom and you come to terms with the fact that, yeah, your baby might be kind of ugly. Well, good news. He's only going to be a baby for 6 months.
Right. We can see what happens then.
But if you're a mom and you finally come to terms with the fact that you could have an ugly baby, everything just gets so much easier from there on out. Someone says your baby's ugly and you don't give a fuck because you're just like, yeah, sure, maybe it's kind of ugly, you know, or maybe you think it is, but it just doesn't. So, and that's what artists need to do with their songs. When they write a song, they, you know, on the Johnny Christ podcast, they were talking about it. You know, you bring an idea to band practice, you need to have the ugly baby mentality about it. You need to say,
yeah,
this might be an ugly baby. It's not your fault that the baby's ugly, maybe even, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to look like what it is. Your song might suck.
God, that's so funny to me. But
ugly baby mentality. That's funny.
Ugly baby, dude. Yeah, when you come to terms with that, everything comes so much easier. Nobody bothers you anymore when they talk about how ugly it is.
Seriously, like I think that applies to a lot of different things, like arguments. If you come in and you say my argument might be wrong, you come into an argument and you have like this mentality of that. Oh, okay, maybe the other person. I want to be educated on the opposing view of my argument. Yeah. If you go into the argument with that mindset, then it's going to be, and both people come into the room with that mindset, then you're going to have a constructive conversation. Yeah, but if you both come in with this idea that I'm right, you're wrong, and the other person thinks that they're right and you're wrong, then this conversation, nowhere. Yeah, you're not going anywhere. You're just going to talk each other in circles. You're just going to end up getting pissed off and mad and angry about the other person, and then you're just going to leave, and everybody's going to be mad. Yeah. You know, and nothing was accomplished during that conversation.
And now they don't want to be like you even more.
Yeah. Because they think you're an asshole.
Yeah. That's a bummer. That's a bummer that happens.
So
don't worry if your baby's ugly.
Don't worry about if your baby's ugly or if you're wrong. It's okay. Just accept it. That's good.
Yeah, dude, because I've been, getting back into the band thing with Atomic.
Yeah.
Is really an interesting shift for me because I've been a solo artist for as long as I can remember. Now I'm in like 15 bands. But you remember playing with Jesse Nieto?
Yeah. Back when we were...
I'm going to do some bleeps, I think, on this episode.
Oh, yeah, you just said another name.
Once. We only said each name once, so we could bleep them out.
Okay.
Beep! So this guy that I used to hang out with, well, he's in a freaking band, so he probably wants his name known. Jesse Nieto.
Oh. What's he?
He's in Megadeth. That's the Megadeth cover band that Dane drums for. The drummer for Atomic Age Renegades.
No way.
He's the Dave clone in that cover band, dude.
That is so perfect.
This makes no sense to the viewers. But this guy that we used to go to church with a long, long time ago, he's just this metalhead, man. He plays all the V-neck guitars and he just shreds. And
he's got the long hair.
Dude, I don't want to say that guy was a natural because he put so much work in and he practiced every single day. He would bring his guitars to church and just like walk around with them and just play them.
While he's having a conversation with you.
While he's talking to you.
He's just playing.
The guy was
didn't
incredible.
have a guitar, he's playing on his forearm.
Yeah, dude, that's what he'd do. He'd practice his arpeggios and stuff on his arm.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Just all the time. It was guitar. He didn't care about drums. He didn't care about vocal. Well, now he's a pretty good singer, apparently.
Oh, is he?
Now he's freaking doing Dave Mustaine vocals, but...
Nice.
when I pieced that all together, because years later, after, Jesse Nieto was actually in a band with you guys for a while before we started Silver Remains.
Yeah.
And then Silver Remains gets paired up with Jet Force Gemini. Silver Remains disperses. Atomic Age Renegades is formed with me and Maverick, who was in Jet Force Gemini. And Dane is our drummer who plays for a Megadeth cover band that Jesse Nieto happens to be in 2020. What the fuck, dude?
Dude, that is so bizarre. Oh my gosh.
That blew my mind, man. So I sent Jesse a message, and then I sent Dane a message, and I was like, dude, this is crazy, man.
Dude.
But
that's crazy.
The dude was a total metalhead, and that's the perfect spot for him.
Yeah.
He's right there in that cover band. Who knows? Maybe he'll do his own original music and stuff down the road, but I really hope Megadeth takes off. I hope we're able to play some shows with them. That'd be fucking awesome, dude.
That's a great name, though. Megadeth. That's awesome.
Dude. But, I always kind of expanded bigger. I was always thinking bigger than just guitar and metal. I was always like, man, I want to get into jazz. I want to get into freaking hip-hop. I want to learn how to play drums. I want to learn how to play bass. I want to play in a whole bunch of different bands. I want to be the front man and the lead guitarist. I want to be the rhythm guitarist. I want to try out being the freaking bassist. Like, I want to play at 100 different venues. And so now I'm in this position where I'm an inch deep and a mile wide, pretty much. And that can be a weakness sometimes.
Well, you're really good at guitar and singing.
See, yep. I think guitar is something that I'm a mile deep in. And that's my primary weapon.
Right.
Is what I tell people.
Yeah.
And if I would have learned music production sooner, that probably would have been my primary weapon. But it's good secondary to have.
Yeah.
And I think every artist needs to have a basic understanding of production. But I'm an artist who has a very in-depth understanding of music production.
Right.
I do it all, man. And it's exhausting.
Yeah.
It really is exhausting. Nobody does what I do. There's not Kanye West, not freaking Shia LaBeouf, not freaking anybody in the music industry.
Right.
Nobody does what I do. Not the Beatles.
Well, that's why I think, there's bands like Beartooth and Breaking Benjamin, who there's one dude who writes all of the music. I don't know if he goes as far as like producing and everything, but he has an understanding of everything.
Yeah.
All of it. All in, in a big umbrella view of everything. And Breaking Benjamin makes like the craziest, most, it's that whole thing of what you're saying. Like you shouldn't, it's so good you can't hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is like, I feel like the embodiment of that. It just flows perfectly. Everything just flows together. Same with the Beartooth stuff.
Yeah, because every part of every instrument is coming from one brain.
Yeah, one brain.
So they're all synced up.
Yeah, and it's just perfect. So, yeah, I see where you're coming from. And it makes amazing music.
Yeah, bro. And I think, there's a few, after you play in a few bands, you start to think from the other person's perspective. Because, like, when Gordo plays a riff, I come up with a drum beat that, talks with that riff.
Right.
And, but when Tim Rising comes in and plays something on his acoustic, I come up with a completely different drum beat.
Mm-hmm.
And there's drummers that come in, know how to play one beat.
Yeah.
And then they know 10 fills.
Yep.
So that's what switches it up. But they're just doom, calf, doom, doom, calf, doom, calf, doom, doom, calf. And if you don't learn, music from a music theory point of view, and then, because it goes theory, instruments, and then however else. I don't know if that's the best way to structure it. But, like, you have to start from theory, because every instrument can be translated to theory.
Mm-hmm.
You can play, there's a difference between percussive notes and melodic notes, but
yeah.
But my point is that, I don't really know what my point is.
Yeah, it'd be good to have, like, if you're in a band, it's okay to have that one beat, because all you need to do is have that one quote unquote beat. It expands a little bit further than that. It's kind of dumbing it down, way down, but you have that one beat, one style of music to fit the band that you're playing.
Right.
And that's all you do is you play for the one band. That's perfect. Great. Do that thing. Just be that one person and just be able to, play that really, really well because that's all you need to do.
Yeah.
But if you're going to be a studio musician, yes, 100%, you need to be able to play jazz. You need to be able to play percussion. You need to be able to play melody. You need to be able to do all these different things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and there's plenty of musicians that come in and go, this is, we'll send something out to 5 piano players and get one that wants to do it.
Right.
Because a lot of them have a structure or a niche or a style that they're good at, and a lot of the guys that are jacks of all trades are just, they don't have something that they're really deep in.
Right.
And I feel like there's a couple areas that I'm a little deeper than I give myself credit for.
Yeah, I would say so.
But
yeah.
So yeah, nobody does what I do.
Nope.
And it's funny because Ryan asked me about this country album that I'm working on.
Who does?
Ryan asked me. He asked me about this country album that I'm working on, and he asked me if I like it. And I stopped to ask myself that question because I realized I haven't asked myself that once since I started working with the guy, because it doesn't matter.
Oh.
It doesn't matter if I like it. It matters if the people like it, And so I could pretty much find something to appreciate about every musical genre. And I'll have fun with it whether I want to listen to the song when it's done or not, But so that gives me an advantage as well, is that I'll just enjoy it no matter what kind of music it is. But do you like it? Do you like the song? If you're a producer, if you're in the producer chair and you're getting a song on the platforms that you want to market to people, then you have to ask that question from the people's perspective. Are the people going to bite on this? And not, do I like it? When I'm making my own original music at home, I'm not really expecting too much attention generated around that stuff because it's not mainstream. It's not what people want to hear. That's why I'm getting a slice of the pie from all the hip hop guys and all the R&B guys and all the pop guys.
Right.
Because I don't do that music, but I can produce it.
Right. That's good. I think as a producer, you need to be able to do that.
Damn, I went way over.
That's okay. Keep going.
We got a whole bunch of artists. We're ready to publish. Gordo's coming out with 4 albums pretty soon. Corey's coming out with an album. Dustin Rose is coming out with an album. Tim Rising is coming out with an album. Tainted Souls is coming out with an album. And Heaven Sent is coming out with an album.
You.
And this is my new song called Ferrari. I don't know where I'm going.
That's a good one. I like that one.
I wish I could play him the chorus, man. But I can't.
They gonna steal it.
You gotta listen to the album when it's done. You know what that sound means?
That means it's time. It's time for fitness. Okay.
Take as much time as you want, bro. This episode's gonna be an hour and a half.
Nice. Let's see if I can make it that long. Anyways, moving on. Welcome to the fitness segment of this beautiful podcast. Okay. So there's this idea. Okay. So whenever you go into getting like you're going to take a different turn in your fitness.
You're going to change something in your routine.
Change something up, right? A lot of times, a lot of the fitness nerds out there, they go straight for a study, right? They go out and they do some research on a specific, like, okay, should I do high reps? What's the best way to build muscle? And they start to go out there and they do some research, and that's great. You should always do some research before you take on something. If you're going to go to plyometrics, bodybuilding, you're going to start running, do some research, figure out, don't just start doing stuff.
Yeah.
So that's great. I'm not saying that that's the problem with it. It's the problem becomes now when we do a bunch of research, right? There's been all these studies that have come out about specific topics, right? So building muscle, what is the best rep range to build muscle, right? And you can go out, you can find all the studies, and then you go, okay, great, here we go. Let's do 8 to 10 reps, whatever. And you read the certification books like NASM, right? And they always say, okay, here's the rep range that we need to use to build the most muscle. This is what you should use your client should be. If this is their goal, they need to be doing this, right? And there's so many debates, there's so many arguments on topics, like what diet should we be doing? Like, should we be vegan or should we be carnivore? What should we do? And then people are constantly like, oh, this study said this, and this study says this, and this study says this, and this study said this, therefore that must be the answer, right? Because this study supports what I have to say.
Yeah.
And that, I think, is where the problem lies, is because I'm hoping by now, I realize we're only 9 episodes in, but you should be able, if you've seen me on Instagram, you've seen me on Facebook, you should be kind of getting this idea that there's not two single individuals who are exactly the same.
Yeah. Right?
And this is the problem, is that every single study starts out with this. We got 20 individuals at X fitness level. We split them up into 2 groups. This group did this, and this group did this, and here were the results. Okay, so let's just stick with the muscle building analogy here. Mm-hmm. Say we've gotten experienced athletes, and we put them into a test. They are going to dramatically see different results than the people who haven't been working out.
Yeah.
But on top of that, what if these experienced athletes that we just picked have already been training for 6 months in the 8 to 12 rep range?
Yeah.
What if they've already been doing that for 6 months? You're going to get a dramatically different outcome because these people have already been in this one.
Yeah.
Or say we got 2 people. One dude's already been training for 6 months, and this other person has been doing, strength training, right? Uh-huh. And they've been doing 1, 2, 3, 5 reps. And now all of a sudden, poof, we put him up to 8 to 12 reps.
Yeah.
We've just changed the stimulus. You're going to see more results than this other person who hasn't been, right? So it's just like all of these different, it's just like, it's the whole thing of saying this is the diet that works for absolutely everybody, right? That's just not going to work, right? So
you could structure a test or a statistic, a experiment,
right?
That's going to provide the results that you want,
right? Yeah, we could go cherry pick. We could go cherry pick our contestants.
Sure, yeah.
It sounds like a game show. Our subjects, right? We could go cherry pick our subjects that we're going to put into this test. And we want to go, okay, who's going to experience the most weight loss? Yeah. So let's go find a bunch of powerlifters who've been doing, 3 to 4 reps. And now let's put them, and they haven't been really watching their diet. Now let's go stick them in this diet, change up their workouts to 10 to 12 reps, and then change their diet. And poof, okay, now all of a sudden we fulfill our bias that we want to get, so that's number one, is just like everybody is extremely different, if somebody's been training a certain way for a certain amount of time, and all of a sudden we just change it up, then of course we're going to see results. But if we don't change it up at all, then that's going to skew the results of the study.
So then if there's all these studies going on, like, I guess, you've said before, do your research on the people who are talking.
Right.
And if they say they're going to, give you a product that's going to help you no matter who you are,
right,
then they're wrong. But
could be.
It could be.
Could be wrong, yeah.
But, like, for a trainer to post an ad on Facebook for their product and then, run a study beforehand and cherry pick their contestants and then get the results they want, that's a really easy thing to do. Maybe people aren't really doing that as much, but like you're saying, a lot of these studies aren't going to provide data that you can draw any sort of conclusion from. It's not going to provide you any fundamentals that you can stand on. So how do you know what the fundamentals are of fitness?
Right. Well, yeah, that's a great question. Like, how do you know what's going to actually work for you, right? That's why it's a good idea not to just be in the camp of 8 to 10 reps.
Yeah.
It's not a good idea to be in the camp of mobility is the answer. It's not a good idea to be in the camp of cardio is, life. It's not
Cardio is life.
Yeah. It's not good to jump into these and become,
Hashtag
cardio is life.
Don't fall into those.
Yeah, don't fall into those camps. That's why I found that like the best, most successful trainers that I've seen, they understand this concept of like, let's not, just fully 100% invest in one ideal, of fitness, is because, you just don't know the background of people, and that's why it gets so difficult, because there's people out there like a mobility wad, there's people out there like, I can't really think of any, because most of the people that I listen to, don't fall into a specific camp. They're trainers, they're personal trainers. They're there to take what you are doing, and they're there to give you an exercise prescription to help you get to your goals. That's what a good trainer does.
Yeah.
But if you go up and you ask a trainer, hey, what's the best way to lose weight? And they don't even think for a second, they don't ask any more questions, and they just, here's what it is. Okay, that's probably what worked for him, and that's why he's so passionate about it. Great. Maybe, hopefully one day he'll understand that, just because it worked for him, it's not going to work for everybody else.
Yeah. Because when I come to you with a fitness question,
right,
you usually have 3 counter questions before you give me an answer.
Right.
And I pretty much know what the answer is by the time you ask me those 3 questions.
There you go.
And then you go along to explain it. I'm like, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So,
and it feels like, you're teaching me and I'm learning, and like you're giving me some value that I can apply to my workout. And it's not like you're just saying, yeah, everyone struggles with that. That's why I made this product. That's not the type of connection. That's not going to get you raving fans about your business.
Right. So, and that's awesome. Thank you for that. That's what I strive to be. I don't want to be the dude who just, this is what you got to do.
Yeah.
And every trainer has to learn that at some point. It's a learning curve for sure.
It's the same thing in the music world.
Yeah.
Because like Dave's contract is a great deal. Bent Beats contract is a great deal for a guy like Tim, who's our country artist, who's a pretty old guy.
Yeah.
Doesn't know about how to use social media and stuff. But it might not be as good of a deal for somebody like Corey, whose girlfriend is famous on TikTok. And she can do a lot of promotion herself.
Yeah.
So,
gotcha.
You can't write up a record deal that's going to work for every artist.
Yep. So that's the first half of that whole thing. It's just, when you're looking at studies, be very careful about, basing or just being really quick to jump into that because, like I said, there's a lot that goes into this. It's not just one answer. Here's a study, of 20 individuals that said this, so that must be the answer, right?
Yeah.
Plus, on top of that, the people who conduct the studies, and look, they're a lot smarter than I am. I'll be the first to admit it. They're
scientists.
They're scientists. They went to school. They've studied anatomy. They've studied physiology, hopefully, and they know the human body. They know anatomy really, really well. They probably have a master's, at least a bachelor's and whatever. They've done a lot of schooling and they're very educated. I'm not trying to say that they're not educated. Let's make sure that that's clear. They are very smart, probably smarter than I am. But they are not personal trainers. They're not good personal trainers. Let's say that. Because so they know, so that tends to kind of narrow down your focus.
Yeah.
Right. And it just starts to become this whole thing of like, well, I learned this in anatomy school and I know that fat does this and that carbs are the main source of energy and they do this, and, they just know what that substance is supposed to do at such a deep level. Right. And then it's very, they've never trained a human being in their entire life. They're good at analyzing data and showing what the data points to and making a conclusion, a hypothesis on said data, So, but if you gave me those same exact people, I'd probably do something completely drastically different than what these scientists do because they have a goal that they're trying to accomplish when they go out to try to educate people and show what happens when said experiment is conducted, right? That's what their main goal is to do off the beginning. So
there's lots of I think engineers and producers are kind of in the world of scientists that you're explaining.
Oh yeah.
It's like the artists are having a completely different conversation in the studio than the engineers are.
Right. This is perfect.
Yeah.
This is exactly what I'm talking about. There's the artist who comes into the studio and they go in and they poured their blood, sweat, and tears into this song and into all of the lyrics, and they've crafted it a specific way. And then a producer comes in there and they're like, "You're flat."
Tells them how ugly their baby is.
Yeah, how ugly their baby is. There it is, And it's like, you're flat. You're speeding up in the chorus, and your guitar's out of tune.
Yeah. And when a producer tells you that, we're not talking about music anymore, but if a producer tells you that, learn from it. Don't get offended.
Right. Exactly.
If it's your first time in a studio, you're not going to crush it the first time.
Exactly.
You might suck. That's okay.
So I guess my point that I'm trying to portray
about the scientists
and
the trainers
is that just because a study is done that says veganism is the best diet, and that every single human being should be eating a vegan diet, doesn't mean that you should become a vegan.
Well, Travis Barker's vegan.
Yeah, there's a lot of vegans out there. I know Kevin Hart, he still eats some meat every once in a while, but he's mainly vegetarian.
Wow.
And he says he feels the best he's ever felt in his entire life.
Yeah.
And that's what that's what I'm trying to get at is like, look, if you eat meat and you feel like shit, stop eating meat.
Don't eat meat.
Eat vegetables. I mean, but if there's so many times, well, I haven't heard it. I've heard that trainers who've been in this all their life and they go, "Hey, so their client comes up to them and says, 'Hey trainer, I've been keto for a while now, and it's like when will I stop being constipated? And the trainer goes, how long have you been keto? 6 months. And you feel like crap. So why are you still on the diet?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, it just is like, I've been doing.
So funny.
I've
I
been
think
doing.
that's the first time I've heard you swear on this podcast.
Oh no, I said it swears. And it's just like, it's just funny to me that people do that. It's like, I've been training 8 to 12 reps because I know that that's supposed to build the most muscle, but I stopped seeing gains a long time. Like, how long ago? 8 months ago. I'm like,
what have you been doing for 8 months?
Doing for 8 months? Oh, I don't know. I just kept going. Hope things will change. And
it's insanity.
Yeah, that's the definition of insanity.
That's
right there.
crazy.
Yeah. So it's just, I'm not trying to make anybody feel bad if that's what you've been doing, because I know that's what a lot of people do. And it's because of studies like this. It's because this is what the internet says. This is the best way to do something. So therefore, I'm going to do it, even though I'm not seeing the change. And they just keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going. And it's just like, yeah. So,
people want to be right.
Yeah, people want to be right. They want to follow a belief system to a T, and be super loyal to that idea.
Yeah, they want to have an opinion. They want to be heard.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's just like, it's okay. Just if that's you and you've been doing the same thing over and over and over and over again because you saw some study, then it's just like, all right, well, take my advice, try something different. Right? Just try something different. Shoot for a different rep scheme, add weight, take weight off, do something, change it up a little bit, and just try to have an open mind when moving forward.
What's that guy who talks about the straight line? Have you heard? Do you know what I'm talking about? He says, what's the best way to work out? Is it bulking? Is it cutting? Or he says it's neither. It's a straight line. He said, because lots of trainers will tell you, or lots of meatheads in the gym will tell you to bulk and bulk and bulk and bulk, and then cut and cut and cut, and then bulk and bulk and bulk, and then cut and cut and cut. But he says you do both at the same time.
Yeah.
And you move in a straight line towards your goal rather than going like this.
Right. And I think the biggest thing to take away from that is it's a straight line. It's not a dot.
Yeah.
Right? If you've noticed that you've stopped gaining, if you notice that you've plateaued, you've stopped getting closer to your goal, then that's a good indicator that, hey, something needs to be different. Right? Make sure that it stays a straight line.
Yeah.
Right? So, all right, guys. Well, that's it for today. Thanks for tuning in. So, if you find us on Instagram and Facebook, we are Pod Heaven at Austin and Devin. Make sure you go drop us a like, subscribe there. And then we're on Twitter at Pod Heaven AD, and then Pod Heaven Austin and Devin on YouTube. So check us out there. And as always, thanks for listening, and we will see you next time.
Episode 10 next week.
It's going to be a banger.
Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day.